Welcome to another podcast presentation from the Zenith Corporation.
May I have your attention, please? Your podcast will begin in just a few moments. Please keep your hands inside the podcast at all times and enjoy your ride.
Welcome to Now Delete, the show where we review both new and older movies. This is Gino.
This is Robert.
America.
Ricardo.
And Gio.
And we're recording you two live from the editing bay. If you're new to the show, use the rating system of In Out Delete. In is if you're willing to take an adventurous quest to see it. Out is halfway through it, you just gave up and decided to do something else. And Delete is a wizard chose you to embark a dangerous quest to save the world, and before he explains it to you, you flip him off, and then you close the door on him. Like a Jehovah's Witness. So this week we watched Onward and Robert's pick, which is Angus. So a small little snippet of Onward.
In times of old, the world was full of wonder and magic. But times change.
I'm a mighty warrior!
Morning, Mom!
Hey, birthday boy.
By the laws of yore, I must dub thee a man today. Kneel before me.
That's okay.
I have a gift from your dad.
He just said to give you this when you were both over 16.
No way! It's a wizard staff. Dad was a wizard!
What? Your dad was an accountant.
This spell brings him back. For one whole day, Dad will be back!
What? Back to life? That's not possible.
It is with this.
I'm gonna meet Dad.
All right, guys. Our new movie this week was Onward, the Pixar movie, directed by Dan Scanlon, starring the voice of Tom Holland, Chris Pratt, and Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the mom?
Yeah, that was the
that's
mom.
Yeah.
And I
Elaine.
recognize
And then Octavia Spencer did the voice of the
Manticore.
Manticore.
Yeah, but she was a little bit low on the build cast, so I kind of left her out. Sorry.
Oh, she's an Oscar winner too.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Anyways, it's a Pixar movie, guys. I think we know what we were expecting when we walked in. But the question is, did it deliver? Ricardo, let's start with you.
Oh,
what
let's
did you
start
think
with
of
me.
Onward?
Yeah, it is like a typical Pixar Disney movie, but I enjoyed myself. I enjoyed it. Like whatever. It was sad, right? Some moments here and there. It was funny, not super funny like I expected it to be, but the animation looks fine. Well, actually, the animation looked really good though. At some points, I was like, oh, cool, simple story. It's like what? Of course, there's gonna be death because this is a Disney movie, you know. It's like, oh, and the whole time I kept thinking about death. What the fuck, right? So
Damn.
you're watching a kid, like you're a kid. Do you?
Existential crisis.
Yeah,
Watch
right.
the movie.
Like
Yeah.
maybe that's why I think about death all the time, right? But whatever. But yeah, I am an in.
Oh, okay, cool.
So
Gino, you go next.
I can say it's a nice Pixar movie. I can really say it's really entertaining. Start off slow, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't like the chemistry, or not chemistry, like the way the dialogue was with Chris Pratt and Tom Holland. I feel like I wish it could be different actors. I don't know. That's my opinion, but I am definitely out. This is my least favorite Pixar movie. It's like I saw the trailer, I'm like, that's not bad. Then I saw the final trailer, I lost interest. It's like The Good Dinosaur. I never seen it, but I would never watch it. Yeah, that's another Pixar movie. And then this would be right next to Good Dinosaur. I would not watch it. I'm watching it just because of this show, but I would never watch it. So I'm out.
That's a fair point. I see what you're saying about The Good Dinosaur. I've seen The Good Dinosaur. I was probably the only one who watched it.
Yeah, because I haven't either.
That being said, I'm an in on this movie. I enjoyed it. It's very Pixar has set a super, super high bar for themselves, right? They make groundbreaking stuff, but like lately their movies have been very, let's say, generic and very predictable. You know, This falls into that camp. That being said, like, mediocre for Pixar is still pretty good, you know? Like, if any other studio would have made this movie,
for sure.
it'd be their best movie easily, you know? It hits all the marks that Pixar sets, you know, emotional story, makes you tear up. I was really angry that I was doing that happened to me. But yeah, I agree with a lot of what you said, Gino, but overall, I think I still enjoyed it. I still enjoyed the story. So I'm in.
Simple, but it was enjoyable,
it
right?
It's a passing grade.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. What about you, Gio?
So, yeah, I kind of agree with you, Gino, but it's not the strongest Pixar movie. It is a little weak.
It's a little weak. I think it's really weak.
It's a little weak. Towards the end, it does pick up. Like I wish there was more of what was towards the end, towards the beginning, because towards the end, like it started getting a little bit more emotional. Like at the beginning, it was just kind of just wandering on, almost a little bit without direction. But so I'm gonna give it an in, but it's kind of a low in, because like I said, it was entertaining, but it's not the most strongest Pixar.
If you were a kid.
If I was a kid, I'm pretty sure I would be like, "Oh my god, I want the toys!"
Yeah, so.
Pew pew! Magic!
I got my wooden staff.
America.
I'm also an in, but it's again like you guys all said already, a very like lazy in. It did entertain me. It was fun, but it definitely, it wasn't. I mean, I didn't have high expectations for this. I saw the trailer and I didn't want to see it. But it did get boring at times. Like I was like, okay, when are they gonna get to the next story arc or whatever? Oh yeah, I was also frustrated that he couldn't make the magic work. I was like, come on, believe. Like I already knew.
Right?
Yeah. At certain points, and they wrote a Cheeto, so like, This is... But if I was a kid, for sure, I would have loved this. So it's enjoyable if you have a kid or something. Go take him to watch it. You're not gonna hate it.
Yeah.
But I mean, for anyone else who doesn't have a kid, maybe isn't into this stuff,
and doesn't have a heart, right?
Yeah, if you don't have a heart, don't watch it.
No, I mean, I totally get it, because, like, to be fair, I went in wanting this movie to be bad. Because the trailers look very mediocre.
Yeah.
And I don't like fantasy stuff. And I was like, this is going to be another good dinosaur, where it just doesn't, it's just not quite as good. But I really got into it, and I got emotional at the end. Speaking of the voices, I agree with you 100%. It's so, the casting is so lazy and like obvious.
Yep.
Like think about the characters. The older brother, he's like a confident guy, kind of chubby, That's Chris Pratt.
That's him.
From Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
The younger one is a shy teenager, skinny. That's
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Like what? Like what?
I was watching it and I tell her like, "Hey, that's Spider-Man."
Yeah, it's like you're looking at a spreadsheet on Excel. It's like what hits all the marks. It's like I really like it when I think studios should hire more voice actors. Who could bring something unique to these characters. It works. It's just fine. But again, it's just a passing grade.
Yeah.
It would have been cool to see something like unique, like with the voice acting. It's fine. It works, but it's so obvious, and it just kind of makes you like. It just checks all the boxes. And Pixar has gotten to a point where like they don't really make bad movies, kind of like Marvel. They have the formula down so well that even their mediocre stuff is like it's not quite as high, but you can't say that it's bad. Like even You're Out is kind of like you still recognize that the movie works, right?
No.
To a certain extent,
but just little things I just
it's just
didn't
disappointing compared to the other groundbreaking stuff.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because you also had a problem, right, Gino, with their chemistry between Spider-Man and Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, I just I just wasn't feeling it. That's all. I agree with what Robert said. It's just lazy.
Yeah, and I kind of agree with you with the chemistry part of it. Besides it being lazy, like it kind of. There wasn't too much like bonding there with the brothers, and Spider-Man already thought that Chris Pratt was like kind of a nobody, kind of a loser. But that was very much like we were just kind of told it. We didn't see it very much. And then when the brother becomes supportive and makes him believe in his own magic, like it's just like, yeah, brother, you can do this. Like there was never really a relationship there to begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah,
start off kind of like they were annoyed with each other, like, oh, my asshole brother.
But not even that much. Like it was all kind of lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's just hitting, like it's telling you, like, this is what you're supposed to feel here.
Yeah.
This is what you're supposed to feel here, And I mean, I was kind of out in the beginning because I was like, oh, here we go, like generic story, But when it gets to the end, I don't want to spoil it and all that, but like the emotional payoff, that really worked for me.
It's cool, right? I liked it.
And I fucking teared up, and I was like, God damn it! I turned to the kid next to me. I was like, God damn it!
He's all like, who are you?
Mommy, who's this kid? Maybe on the more lighthearted note, I thought it was funny that he was half Is that in the trailer? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Just
I
the
think it
yeah.
is that-
Yeah.
It's
I don't
kind of
remember.
it's kind of
But
odd. Yeah.
That's fucking funny. I don't know. Like.
It's funny because they had like
and
a little
I think kids would enjoy that.
weekend
right?
with what's his name?
Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
I'll say that was funny. That
You don't know
the whole thing with the freeway and it's just like it falls out and the arms are shaking.
Yeah.
I loved it so much. I'm like, that's not what he's doing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's stuff like that is hilarious.
that's what I'm
but
It all seemed like they know where to place
The
certain
jokes.
scenes,
Yeah.
No,
the
but
jokes, everything.
you never heard of Weekend at Bernie's? Then?
I have, but
If you have, then you should know what we're talking about.
no, but it's funny to that point. Like, 'cause
maybe
the mo-
explain to people.
Yeah.
Idiots like me are on the podcast who supposedly know things. And
though that scene was really funny, but the movie hadn't been funny up until that point.
Exactly.
So you weren't really expecting that type of comedy. Like that
Oh,
was a
yeah,
very
yeah.
entertaining scene, but the movie took a while to find its tone.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, I think that's what we all agree with. Once it found it, I think it works. You know,
Yeah.
maybe they should have like
They
had
found
a
it way too
stronger
late, though.
stronger beginning, a stronger
Yeah.
setup, you know, because it has a pretty strong ending, you know, just kind of like a weak and mediocre beginning.
And some jokes were pretty funny though, like the mom when she'll get a phone call. And from that guy,
Oh,
the horse
from
guy,
the boyfriend?
Oh, yeah.
and it was that song.
What
That's
song
it.
was it?
The what is it called?
See, we don't even remember.
The sexy
Yeah.
song. No, I don't know the name of the song.
it was a
sing
sexy
it.
song, but I don't.
No, like is that? I don't know how to fucking do it. But like it's like I don't
Let's
know.
Get It On?
Yes,
Yeah,
there
yeah,
we go. That
yeah.
one.
I'm like cochinos.
That's funny, you know, because he's a horse. That's why it's funny.
Cochino.
It's like jokes for us.
Yeah, they had it in there.
Yeah, because the kids are not gonna understand that joke.
I wouldn't put this as low as The Good Dinosaur. I know we keep shitting on that. Has
what
anybody
the
seen
hell
it?
is
I've never
that?
saw
No.
that,
The Good-
That's the
yeah.
reason why.
The
Is
Good
this
Dinosaur.
like some straight to VHS
no,
thing?
no.
or what?
It's a Pixar movie that came out in theaters.
When?
But I think it was the first time they released two movies in the same year, and I don't remember what the other
Was it
one was.
Ratatouille?
Is this
Either
recent
one?
or?
No.
Ratatouille's
Or
good.
probably a Cars.
It's within the last 10 years,
Oh,
like
okay.
say 2013, and it went nowhere. It was a basic story about a scared little dinosaur
Yeah.
that has to find, he has to be brave, when it comes to it. The most standard
think I
story
would
ever.
like that more than
Nice
this.
animation, when I look back, because he gets lost and he meets a little human, and they go on a little adventure together.
I was
Oh,
gonna
that's
Yeah.
cute.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
I'm gonna watch
not bad. It's
I'm gonna watch
just
it.
Was that
compared to
one,
other, yeah,
Was that one semi like silent film style?
kind of,
'Cause,
yeah, you
like,
could say.
I don't remember there being really much of a cast for that. Like
No,
like think back
yeah.
of it, because it was this little kid that's a little caveman and a dinosaur.
Yeah, the
Okay,
dinosaur
well,
talks.
okay.
Yeah,
Does he?
but
Well,
yeah,
I
it's
would
like
hope
the
so. It's
yeah.
a Disney movie.
It was the first time that like Pixar really like bombed at the box office, and nobody talks about that movie.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like I remember
But
watching that trailer and I go, nah, and then
Yeah.
compared to this one, same
but
shit.
Pixar's worst movie is Cars 2. Let's agree with that.
Okay.
Right?
But
yeah.
Cars 1 is great, right?
Yeah, Cars
yeah,
1
of
is
course.
fine.
I
Yeah.
don't like none of the Cars
Cars.
movies.
Yeah,
Or
that's what I'm
three.
saying. It's not quite like I would put Dinosaur, The Good Dinosaur, up above those movies, and I would put Onward, maybe like the lower middle,
Okay.
which is still a C plus on the Pixar curve.
Oh, that's my high
Mine's
school.
a D minus. Man.
Since we're already off topic with the dinosaur,
Yeah.
could we
Jurassic
talk
Park?
about the Simpsons?
Oh,
before?
Yes.
Yeah. So
I
I'm
was
a
weird.
resident Simpsons expert.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. What do you think?
Me?
Yeah.
It made me realize. Here's the thing. I love The Simpsons. I quote it literally every day of my life.
Same.
But I haven't seen it like a new episode like in over 15 years.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So seeing that, it made me realize, man, it really changed. Like it's really not even like a shell of what it used to be.
It's fast too.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, they had because they have less time now because of more commercials. So the show like had to like speed up like their jokes. So you get a bunch of little gags, and it's weird. So seeing that, the story's kind of weird because two babies falling in love.
Yeah.
and
But
she-
the weirdest part was her choosing her diaper.
Yeah.
Why didn't they make her choose her bow or something?
That was very off-putting.
Yeah.
yeah.
I
it just
even-
didn't-
I
the
was-
whole thing didn't
Think
sit
about it.
right with me. Yeah.
Like it was, I'll admit the surprising was when how it opens. It's like a silhouette of Mickey Mouse. You're like, oh no, no Disney,
Yeah.
Disney short.
Yeah.
Wrong. Homer Simpson with 2 donuts in his forehead,
Yeah,
right
that was-
above his head.
It's still weird, that affiliation between Disney and
It doesn't fit. You know?
No,
it doesn't. It doesn't fit.
Yeah, I think they should have like left it alone.
Even at the end, right when you know how they have that.
Oh, the
Oh yeah, when they
Gracie
go like,
film.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
There's
There's
Mickey.
Cinderella,
Yeah.
Mickey.
Oh, I haven't
don't
seen
know who else was
Cinderella,
there.
yeah.
I saw
I
just
think
the
it was right
Mickey
next
ears.
to
I
him.
just noticed those. But
Cinderella was there. I don't know who else.
It's trying to be like cute and stuff, but it comes off very weird and
Weird.
uncomfortable. I don't want to. Yeah, I
My
turned
kids
to the
to see
kid
this.
next to me. I was like, "Dude, what's going on?"
You asked him to translate or
yeah,
what?
me and that kid became good friends.
Yeah. you know what Pixar movie I am looking forward to, and I'm mad they didn't give a date. Was Soul.
Yeah, that looks really
like
good.
when is
yeah.
that coming out? It just said like soon or some
Probably
shit.
next year.
yeah.
Yeah.
You guys, I want it now.
See what I mean? That's a trailer you watch and go, that's the Pixar
Yeah,
movie I
that's-
watch. And you see
yeah.
Onward, you're like, nah, I'm good. See you in DVD.
Well, yeah, ever since they started making more, like releasing 2 in a year, you get a lot more mediocre stuff, right? And even like the movie that I love, like Coco. I love Coco. I love
fuck
that
yes.
movie. But while I was watching it, it's so predictable. Like all their movies now are so
Yeah.
predictable. It's like you know what's gonna happen. It's like there's they don't work as hard in the screenplay department as they do in their.
They're running out of
Animation
ideas.
department.
Maybe
Oh,
ideas. are
No,
running
they
out.
have the template and they just follow it.
Follow
like
it.
print Pixar movie, you know, and they just go. We're complaining because they're so good, you know, at what they do, and like
You
you
want
know you're
better?
gonna cry. Fuck, like that makes me mad, you know. And I thought this was the one movie that I was like, you know, I have no emotional connection to it. But then when
They're
it
not
ends
gonna
up
get
being,
me.
yeah, they're not gonna get me. When it ends up being about the brothers, I was like, God damn it, I love my brothers.
And it's
Yeah,
funny.
I have
Yeah.
that same relationship with
Yeah.
mine, so it's just like.
By the way, if he's listening, I think he does. Go fuck yourself.
You know what's funny? Because when you guys are talking about tearing up, I teared up too, but because it's out of anger.
Yeah.
I'm like, I hate my brother. Fuck you, bro. You know?
Very therapeutic.
Yeah, it's very therapeutic. I was
Yeah.
just like, oh, like, go, little brother. I'm like, oh my god, that was me. Fuck you. No, I mean, don't get me wrong. Yeah, I got that one. That one, I'll admit, hit home. But
Yeah.
at the same time, like, I was really like, fuck you. But yeah, I was.
Well, the thing that they're getting rid of, I guess that's cool, is that they don't have a girl-guy thing, love thing anymore.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a Disney.
No, I
That's
think,
more
I
of
think
Disney.
that's
That's
yeah, that's
that's
what
more-
I that's what
yeah.
I think they're bringing in because like with Elsa, how you know the true love was the sister, not the dude. And I think, but
This
they've
one is
always
the-
kind of had that, right? Like they don't have a parent or something, so you have more of that relationship with like those who are around you.
Like they're
So
trying to be more inclusive, hit other people. They're just like, not
Yeah.
everybody has this.
Yeah.
not
Well,
everyone's nuclear family is
yeah.
like a certain way. Yeah.
Death though, it's always there. I'm thinking about it all the
Well,
time. Like shit.
The
Yeah,
one
this-
constant.
This is the Frozen for boys, you know. That one's about
Yeah.
sisters. Yeah.
There's funny moments here or there, but you're right.
Yeah. So
Like,
overall, we're all just kind of disappointed with it. It did
Yeah.
okay. It was just
Yeah.
eh,
If
fine.
you go to the theater, you will enjoy your time at the theater. And that's about it. you
Yeah,
know?
if you're
Yeah.
a Pixar fan, you're like, yeah, this is.
It's a
the
B.
best.
If you're a
Or a
Pixar
C.
completionist, watch
No.
The Good Dinosaur and then go watch this. Yeah.
compare.
Yeah.
No, I'm not doing that. I'm good. I think
Just
this
give
is
it
enough.
a chance, man. I'm going to make one of my picks.
Wow, that was a threat too. That wasn't.
You do it or I'll pick it.
Whoever's listening, I just made a very cringing face. I'm just like, no. I'm good. Disgusted. Well, we have 4 ins and 1 out. Damn it, me.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
Coming soon to theaters.
Come, my lady, come, my lady. You're my butterfly, sugar.
You know, Edwin happens to know a few things. And one of the things Edwin knows is, it's not how you stand by your car, it's how you race your car. You better learn that.
Edwin was a street racer with a simple dream.
I won't try.
This is yours, whether you win or lose. But if you win, you get hurt too.
Until it was brutally taken away from him.
What's up, baby?
What's your problem, nigga? You didn't win.
But now he will have his chance at redemption.
You have 1 minute to tell me what you want before I knock one of your lungs loose.
Hobbs, we got a new threat. He calls himself Hector and has a last name that I can't pronounce.
My name's Hector. I got a last name too, but I can't pronounce it.
If he gets his hands on all the nuclear codes, he can wipe out half the population with the snap of his fingers.
You can't stop me, yo. I'm the Mexican Superman.
You want me to help you? Save the world? Murder!
We find him, we take him as a team, and we bring him back.
I just went in there, and Hector's gonna be running 3 Honda Civics with spoon engines. And on top of that, he just went into Harry's and he ordered 3 T66 turbos with NOS and a Motec system exhaust.
From the studio that brought you The Fast and the Furious, Too Fast, Too Furious, The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift, Fast and Furious, Fast 5, Fast and Furious 6, Furious 7, The Fate of the Furious, and Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw comes a brand new original film.
Daddy's gotta go to work. Oh, shit. Here they come. Song.
The Fast and the Furious presents Hobbs and Edwin.
Monica, here I come.
Starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Ja Rule, and Emma Stone.
Please stand by as your next film is being prepared. And remember, no flash photography is allowed during listening.
And this year's Winter Ball King is Angus Bethune.
I can't dance. I can't talk to girls.
You're Angus, right?
I know you set it up,
This is the chance you've wanted your whole life, right?
but I can smash Rick Sanford's face in.
Got a temper, save it for the football field.
I'm not going. You get to dance with Melissa Lefevre. I'd sell body parts for a chance like that.
You don't have to know how to dance to sweep a girl off her feet. Use what you have in here.
We're gonna turn you from a large, pathetic virgin into a large, pathetic virgin with a new look.
All right, guys. Our old movie this week was my pick, which is the movie Angus from the year 1995, way back.
Back in the 1900s.
Directed by Patrick Reed Johnson, starring Charlie Talbert as Angus, George C. Scott, his final film role before he died, Kathy Bates, and the Shermanator from American Pie. And the movie is basically about a fat kid in high school, you know, and his adventures, or if you could call it, yeah. Going through that. I picked it because I was inspired by Ricardo. He picked Never Been Kissed, and watching that opened up a bunch of old memories that had been repressed, you know, about the perils of high school. So I decided to carry on that theme, you know, and pick this movie because I remember watching this movie again as a kid before I went to high school. Oh. So I didn't know, you know, high school was fucked up, you know. So I didn't really I just kind of saw this as a silly comedy, you know. But then looking back on it, it's like, man, this shit was real.
It was a documentary.
Yeah. But I hadn't seen it, honestly, since I was a kid. I'd seen clips here or there, you know, but I sat down and watched it for this. And this is the first time watching it all the way through. It doesn't quite hold up as well as I remember. But I still think it's unique because it's, you know, a lot of times in these type of stories, you get an ugly duckling, you know, who's they're just wearing glasses, you know, have their hair messed up, you know. Take off the glasses and all of a sudden they're beautiful, you know.
We already know America.
This kid, yeah.
The Ugly Betty.
That's not even me.
The kid, the actor, he's actually overweight, and he's not what a typical leading character looks like, right? So I think in that sense it is very unique. I'm still not quite as high as an in as I was expecting. Yeah, not as good as Never Been Kissed, I think.
Oh no. Well, this one's more dated than Never Been Kissed.
Yeah, but still an interesting watch. I'm kind of curious to see what you guys think of it with fresh eyes. You didn't know anything about it. I don't want to be mean here, but Gio, I want to start with you. What did you think of this movie?
It was too real.
By saying that, it's mean.
No, because I think he would like, I think me, Gio, and Gino, like kind of went through this, in high school. So interesting to get their perspectives on it.
Yeah, I'm in on this one as well.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have that much of a problem, but yeah, you still get teased for being fat. Or whatever, so, but other than that, it was a nice little story. It's a very basic story. But yeah, I'm in. We'll talk about it more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gino, did you like this movie? Did you?
All I can say is,
he's got
it's
tears
a
in his
very,
eyes.
very typical '90s movie.
Yeah.
But I am a super in on this.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm busting you. Mega in. Super ultra mega in. Mega force in.
To the max.
Moving time in. Yeah, man. The music soundtrack was great with all Green Day, Weezer, Google Doll. You know what I mean? The typical high school '90s.
Even
You're
Dance
like,
Hall Crushers made it in
This
there.
shit created the fucking '90s soundtrack, bro.
This is some shit
Fuck
my
Clueless.
older cousin would listen to when I was a kid. So
Yeah.
I'm feeling it. But the story with the fat kid, like I know that story. Like I was never picked on like he was.
Yeah.
But in a way, like I can feel how like distant he feels with other people, especially the girl he really liked. I have a story for that, some sort of like that, like the ending for the ending wise, the ending. But yeah, I mean, I'm in, dude. I'm in.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it in a bit. But yeah.
America, did you like this movie?
Yeah, I really like this
Yeah?
movie. Yeah, I wasn't expecting it to be that funny. It does look like a very 90s movie. It is a very 90s movie. I especially I love the relationship between the grandpa and Angus. Like they're so funny, and Angus is such a good actor. Like
He's still acting today, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like on TV, nothing like major
okay.
stuff, but yeah.
Because I thought he was like hidden. Or
Yeah, and then him with the little friend,
Yeah.
little redhead kid. Oh my god, that's fucking hilarious.
Shermanated.
But yeah, sorry for the disrespect.
This is like the origin story of the Shermanator.
Yeah.
I was like, this kid been freaking typecast his whole life.
That's what I told him too. I was like, isn't that the kid from? And he's like,
Nigga.
yeah.
Would not know this.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was good.
Ricardo?
Oh yeah, it is a typical '90s movie, whatever, and it's kind of, what do you call it? Like, I guess it's kind of corny, but in a cool way, like in a.
Yeah.
The only thing that really got me in was, oh yes, I am an in, is that he's tough.
Yeah.
Like, that's the best
Yeah.
part. Because you know how, like, he's big? I hate when they're, like, big and they're fat or something, and then, like, they get bullied. Like, do something, You're bigger than them.
Yeah.
And this guy does. So that's why it's, like, really cool. So, and I really like this character. It is, like one of those characters that, like, he's awkward, but he stays awkward through the whole movie, right?
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't get, like, that cool or anything. You know how, like,
He
you're
doesn't
supposed
change.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I like too about the
Yeah.
whole you take off your glasses and you're hot now or
Yeah,
whatever.
like you're saying.
That is cool because they give him a makeover and it's just some fucked up ass hair.
Yeah, dude.
It's an experiment.
Dude, and then, like, at the end, when everything happens, like, he's still the same, like, this
Yeah.
awkward kid,
His arc is learning to accept himself.
Yes,
rather than
I
trying to
like that.
change. Yeah.
And that's a big major plot point at the end. He's
Yeah.
like, none of us are normal. That's the whole message. at the
Oh,
end.
that guy, the bully guy, what's his name?
James
Vanderbeek.
There you go, there you go.
Dawson.
Dawson.
Pre Dawson's Creek, pre Varsity Blues. They're
Damn,
playing more or
oh,
less the
it's
same
on-
characters.
I don't want your life.
So it's also the origin story.
Yeah,
for
I was like, this is
Varsity
him.
Blues.
This is
Oh,
him
shit.
playing in the freshman.
Yeah,
Before
yeah.
he makes it to the
They
varsity.
were in JV. I don't know if you heard. They
Yeah,
were on
yeah.
the JV team. Yeah.
Before he got promoted onto.
He
and
looks.
the colors are the same.
Yeah, it's the same school.
And was
Damn,
it,
it's the same.
Yeah.
Huskies instead of coyotes.
Oh, damn.
Almost the same.
Yeah.
He kind of looks a little older, huh?
No,
him.
But he was
I know he was
younger.
young, dude. He
No,
was
no,
younger.
I know he was.
Oh
young.
yeah.
Than
Older
the,
as in
than the kid or something.
No, I thought they were
especially
same.
the.
But I think that's
Shermanator.
good because like when you're like a kid who's not cool and all that, you look at those people and go like, man, you aspire to be there because they look like fucking models.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
funny.
Yeah,
That's funny.
Speaking about Shermanator, real quick, did you guys notice that he never aged? Like there was like a time, like a point in the beginning where like they were talking about, yeah, I knew this kid.
Yeah,
this
they
is-
used them.
And
yeah.
so I used them in the back,
Yeah.
like a flashback when he's like the Angus is like rotary blading.
Yeah,
and then like Shermanator's like there. I'm like, oh, what the hell? And then they're in high school. He's still the same. Like, how the
Same.
fuck do you look the same?
Yeah, but if
And
you
this
notice,
guy,
yeah,
changed, you know? Angus completely changed. James Vanderbeek changed, you know what I mean? And the main girl that he had a crush on that changed.
Yeah.
Terminator did it.
If you notice, he's sitting down in all those scenes.
Yeah.
So they like try to hide his. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think that's what I think they probably just wanted, just him just always be that pimp.
Yeah.
Like
that makes sense. Yeah.
The girl that he's in love with is the girl from Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Surprised she didn't scream Bloody Murder this whole time.
Going back to the story, I think it is like when you look at it, it's a little bit generic.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a guy likes a girl, you know, and he's trying to get the girl, whatever. Even the dance storyline, right?
Yeah.
They make him the prom
yeah.
king or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that, you could copy and paste from any high school movie.
dude,
character.
that was Carrie.
Yeah, yeah. And never been
Once
kissed.
again,
Yeah.
influence.
Yeah.
That's
And,
how far that movie has influence.
I did read that like the studio like really pressed the screenwriter to make it more generic, basically put all the
Oh,
yeah.
really?
So I think it before like the studio interfered, it didn't have like as many of the cliche storylines, you know.
They just added it in there.
Yeah, you know, to make it more accessible, you know.
Yeah, because I remember I looked it up. Apparently, originally Angus had gay parents. You know, that's why. Like, if you look closely at Kathy Bates' character,
I mean, she's a truck driver,
Yeah.
so she.
That's
and
why, like-
he doesn't have a dad, so.
yeah, that's why. Like they I think the studio. That's when the studio got involved. They're like, no, let's
Yeah.
take that part out and just
Yeah.
say his dad never existed. And the mom is the single mom.
Mm-hmm.
But Kathy Bates, dude, she's dope in this movie too.
Yeah, dude, she's amazing.
She is amazing. When I saw her, I was like, yeah.
My theory is that she's the same character as Misery. So like, what would have happened had she like had a child?
Or the origin story for Waterboy.
Oh my god,
that foosball.
He grew up. Oh shit.
But also like,
oh shit.
she disappears for a good chunk of the movie.
Yeah. I will say the story. Like, I know I like the relationship between the grandpa and Angus because he's like his mentor or whatever.
Yeah.
There's a little bit too much of that. I think it for me it slowed it down quite a bit. You know, I would have taken more scenes in the high school. A little bit more because they had like the wedding storyline with the grandpa, like that stuff. Like I didn't really dig that. You know?
I don't know. I kind of like it because like he's kind of like obviously we know he loves his grandpa, but that's where you actually see like he does care about his grandpa because the whole time they kind of just bicker at each other, you know. And he's like, "You're not normal. You're not whatever," you know. So I think that's kind of like to bring them closer a little bit. But I do see that there is a lot of grandpa time that could be like at the high school.
Because the high school is the best part when he's in high school. So like they should have added more. And it's funny because that guy from Entourage comes out, right?
Oh, yeah, the little short guy.
Yeah, he's all young. I was like, oh shit, he's a little kid.
I'm like, he still looks like a piece of shit. Yeah.
The soundtrack. Let's talk about the soundtrack.
Oh yeah, that's good.
I love it. Even as a kid, we loved this soundtrack because it had a bunch of bands that we liked. Green Day, Weezer. The Dance Hall Crashers was just one of my favorite bands. It's the song that's playing when they first go into the dance. Like we love that band. So the fact that they were in a movie like that, we automatically like the movie. It doesn't matter. Like, the song in the opening, the marching band song, is by a band called Love Split Love. I love that song, and they actually for the soundtrack they mixed it with the marching band in it.
Oh.
And you could only get it on that fucking soundtrack.
Oh.
Yeah, so for the longest time I was looking for that version and they didn't have it.
And then you looked
so
for
I
the
fucking
soundtrack?
bought the soundtrack, the CD, and it's in there. It's so good. Yeah. It's just 90s music all the way through. And the Green Day song, I remember back in the day, that song wasn't on any of their albums.
Oh, so it
was only on that fucking soundtrack.
Really?
Yeah, and I love that song so much. Yeah.
I was gonna say, did they have something with Green Day? Because like
I think they made the song for that movie.
Because they kept pushing like, oh, I want to get Green Day tickets. I was like, this is almost like semi Green
Yeah,
Day
and it was
commercial.
weird. When did Green Day get big? Because like
Yeah, it was like 93. Yeah, so it makes sense that they would be fans of Green Day.
That was weird though, because I thought like they just started kind of getting big.
No,
they blew up at that time. Yeah,
They blew up right there, right? So
yeah.
I was like, oh shit, they got Green Day.
Yeah, so
and
like
shit.
like as a kid, Green Day was my favorite band. So of course I'm gonna love this movie.
Shit, that's just good. but what was I gonna say? That girl, you know how like he likes that girl, right?
Yeah.
I kind of didn't get why that much. You know, like, because he never talked to her or anything.
It's your
but I
typical
guess that's the
story.
thing, right?
It's a typical thing.
'Cause
Like
I never
you,
understood that.
You see the prettiest girl in the room, something about her, you just like her just because the way she looks, of course. That's typical.
Yeah,
'Cause
and
you don't- No, go on.
Sorry, that's the problem with a lot of these movies. You know, from the boys' perspective, they always say like they always fall in love with the girl, but they fall in love with her just because of her looks.
Looks, right?
You know, and like they never show like them connecting in a sense, them talking to each other, because they never talk. The boy's always too scared to go. So like in reality, like, are you really in love with her, or are you just like shallow because she's pretty?
And that's why I like when Shermanator brought that up. When he literally said like, you just like her because she's pretty, huh? I'm like, oh fuck, that's the truth.
Yeah.
That's the truth, because that's how I was. That's how I was too. Like, I like this girl. I remember we had that talking to another podcast. Like, oh, how do you know you just fall in love? Like, I don't know. You just feel it in your belly.
Wait, tell us your story.
Well,
you said you had a story.
Basically, I'm the fat kid. I never was.
He
No,
laughs.
I still am. It's because it's the truth, yo. I'm sorry. Long story short, prom was coming up. I asked girls to go to prom with me. They all say no. Even one girl jokingly said yes. And I took it serious. So by this time, I was like very very heartbroken that I didn't have a date for prom. So my best friend is best friend with this girl. Her name's Luz. She was Miss Southgate year prior of my high school year. So like we were good friends at the time. So one day I called her, like, because I was like, fuck it, you know, I haven't talked to her. I want to say what's up. I called her because my friends knew her and they're like, she's not gonna say yes. So I called her. I'm like, hey, I was wondering, do you want to go to prom with me? And she goes, let me hold on 1 sec. I'm like, oh fuck, that's a no. And you just see her talk. I can hear her talk to her mom about something, and she goes back, yeah, sure. When is it? I'm like, May. And she's like, oh yeah, let's do it. So my thing was like that moment I slow danced with her was like I felt that moment in the movie.
You had your moment.
I had my moment. I had my moment. Like that's what I'm saying. That's why when I saw that part, I kind of teared up. It was like nostalgia. Like, oh man, I remember my prom.
What song was playing?
It was, I think, Boys the Men. It was like a very, you know, like some slow romantic song. Yeah. And it was a magical moment. Sorry.
Oh, that's nice. Sorry.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Good. But I thought it was gonna end bad.
Yeah, going to that
Carrie
slow
moment?
song, Mazzy Star, them using that song.
Oh, the song.
Yeah,
you were
Fade
telling
Into
me,
You. Yeah, so good. Yeah, first movie to use that song.
Oh, really?
No.
Yeah, I was like, of course they would use this
Yeah,
song.
it
Like,
seems very cliche, right? But back no.
That's
It was
so
brand
funny.
new then.
Yeah.
I really
He's
like
like,
that
what do
song.
you mean? I was like, well, it's that song.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
They did it before it was cool. Okay.
Oh, okay. This is the one that started it all.
Yeah.
You can kind of see, because amongst, you know, Dawson's Creek and then Angus and the Shermanator, they're all on the football team, but you can see the division there is between them regardless. Like, they're, you know, like I said, they're all on the football team, yet they're considered more the jocks, and then the others are just considered the rejects. Just there. Even, like, he says, like, in the movie, he does that block, which causes, you know, the chain reaction of Dawson scoring, you know, the winning touchdown. Yet he doesn't get his, like, his recognition and stuff. Also, going back to the girl, like, throughout the movie, we know nothing about her.
Oh, I know.
But I think, like, I was, like, while watching it, I was just like, yeah, we know nothing about her. Like, she's just kind of there. But it wasn't until the end where that reveal of her being that abnormal as well, the whole that she's got that eating disorder. I think it, wish there was a little bit more throughout the movie, but it worked at the end with that reveal.
Yeah, it was something. You know, they threw a bone. Yeah. But that's always the problem when you get the male perspective from these movies. You know, you're always gonna run into those issues. All right, guys, what are we watching next week?
What was it called? The Hunt?
The Hunt, yeah, the brand new movie that was supposed to come out last year and was delayed because it was so controversial.
You know what else got delayed? No Time to Die.
Yeah,
I'm fucking sad. That's supposed to come out in April. Now it's moving to November.
There's too many of those movies. Who
because
cares?
of the coronavirus.
November?
Yeah.
Seriously,
Oh,
yeah.
They moved it to
You've seen
November.
it. Yeah.
Shit, I didn't
they
know
pulled
that.
their crew out.
Yeah.
Also, Ricardo, it's your turn to pick. What are you gonna pick?
Oh, it's my turn. I'm picking the cult classic. Well, my cult classic, I guess. I don't know if it is a cult classic.
The Ricardo cult.
And something that I quote all the time, but nobody really remembers these fucking movies, so they don't even know what I'm talking about.
Pulp Fiction?
No, it's Beavis and Butthead Do America.
Oh, man.
You remember that one?
Yes, of course I remember that one.
Another 90s movie.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Pipi for me bunghole.
Yes.
Bunghole.
I love that movie, and I haven't seen it in a while, so hopefully you guys enjoy it, and we enjoy
Bruce
it.
Willis and Demi Moore.
Yes.
Oh, yes. It's
Along
funny.
with Mike Judge.
Please don't forget to follow us in Instagram, In-Out-Delete Reviews, one word, and in Twitter at In-Out-Delete. Well, until next time, good night.
Thank you for listening. please exit the podcast and don't forget to collect all your belongings and young children. We hope you enjoy listening and have a great rest of your day here at In, Out, Delete.
This has been a podcast presentation from the Zenith Corporation, working for a better tomorrow for all of mankind.